Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to begin this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to all you brothers that's out there that's pushing forth the word of the Lord. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, in all faith, truth, and sincerity. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father who the world calls God. Yahweh Shai is his beloved Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. We're living in the last days of America. In the scriptures is known as Babylon the Great, right? The last and final days of Esau, Edom's rulership, in the beginning of a transition of power, which is going to be given to the Negro, Latino, and Native American man, all right? And, I was meditating on some things recently, and one thing that I have been thinking about was the fact that this truth requires a lot of self-examination, man. Okay, and this is something that me personally, I have been, trying to do more often, making sure you're on point with yourself. Okay, and a part of this examining is trying to figure out what things are good for you, all right, and what things can be evil for you, pretty much, or a distraction, or something that could push you away from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and I'm gonna get into the scriptures, and hopefully this will be edifying, because in this truth you can be your own worst enemy, and being within this ministry, within this truth, it requires us to lean our energy, lean our spirits towards spiritual things and worshiping Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and making sure that's at the forefront of the things that we think about and participate in. Okay, so this is 2 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 5. It says, "Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith, prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Hamashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates." Right, and reprobate means a person who's void of judgment. So you got to be able to judge yourself. All right, you got to be able to judge and prove and examine yourself to see what mainly what could be what can work for you in this world, or what can serve as a distraction, or something that doesn't work for you in this world. Okay, you got to examine yourself, man. All right, you got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and really be honest with yourself, man. Because there are, truth be told, in the flesh, man, there are a lot of things that can sway you in this world, in this broad world that we live in, man. A lot of carnal distractions, all right, and there are a lot of things that the flesh wants to indulge in, but like the scriptures say, we have to keep a good balance of things, because the word of the Lord and pushing that forth and worshiping Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is first in our lives, man. Okay, and going back to being honest with yourself, it requires a lot of meditation. It requires a lot of you being able to do some soul searching, so to speak, as they say, man. You got to do a lot of soul searching in this truth, man. All right, and like I said, you got to be honest with yourself, because there are, like I said, things that can distract you, like women. If women is a part is something that you can't really handle like that, then you're not supposed to give yourself over to that, going to the bars and meeting women, being on POF and all that shit all the time. You know, these women can be a distraction. They can take you away from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for sure. And that's like one of the top distractions, you know. So you got to focus on trying not to give yourself over to that vibration, okay? Because the next thing you know, you'll be, indulging in those things, and then slowly over time, when you're not watching in yourself, when you being a fucking reprobate, okay, next thing you know, you're not putting any more time into Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai anymore, man, because you're too focused on bitches, man. All right, and meeting up with women, all right, trying to get boxed and have sex all the time, man. It is what it is, man. If that's an area that you're not strong in, if you're weak in that area, and that's a distraction, with being honest with yourself, then you don't give yourself over to that, man. All right, and it could be anything. It could be video games, man. All right, video games could be something that you are highly interested in, and you can find yourself really, diving deep and indulging yourself, really, totally enveloping yourself in that spirit of video games, man. Because every brother has a different spirit, and we all have our things that we like and get involved in, but you got to make sure if that thing that you like to indulge in is taking up too much of your time, to where you're not even really reading like that, or you're not making lessons like you're supposed to. You're supposed to be able to cut that thing off, man. Okay, with the quickness, man. It's not supposed to be something hard. If you know what's more important in this life, especially you being in this truth, then you're supposed to know how to cut things off, man. All right. It could be you working too much. All right. You could be have some financial issues, and there's nothing wrong with working a few extra hours, but if you find yourself trying to work 13, you work a regular shift 10 hours, but you always trying to get that overtime, that extra 3-4 hours overtime, that's too fucking much, man. And then it's to the point where you're working so much that you can't make lessons like that. All right, you have no free time, okay? Because you could be working all these hours, and by the time you get home, you tired as shit, and all you want to do is eat and go to sleep, man. All right. And truth be told, this truth requires a lot of sacrifice as well. This truth requires a lot of sacrificing. But how can you sacrifice when you're not when you don't really have the time to do that? So you got to really try to focus on trying to either get another gig, or stop taking all them goddamn overtime hours, so you can find time for the Lord. All right, because you got to remember, the Lord is a jealous power, and anything that you give your energy over into is you putting your spirit into can serve as a god. Women can be a god. Video games can become a god. Your job can become a god to you. Okay, a power. All right, something you putting your energy into when that's not supposed to be so. We know Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is a jealous power, man. Okay, and he requires you to serve him. Now the Lord is not he's not unbalanced. Yeah, you can indulge in this in fleshly things in this life, because like it tells you in Ecclesiastes, right? It tells you in Ecclesiastes that in this world, man has nothing better but to eat, drink, and be merry. All right, or indulge in fleshly your carnal pleasures. Okay, but it's supposed to be an even balance to these things. It's supposed to be 50-50, okay, when it comes to the flesh and in the spirit, okay? Because like it tells you also, and then I think I'll find that real quick. I believe it's Ephesians. It talks about how the flesh and the spirit are always warring against one another, man. All right. And this war it's a spiritual thing. And we got to have a mind to be able to fight to be more spiritual, okay, or even to maintain balance, okay. See if I can just find that. I do believe it's in Ephesians. I'm not gonna waste too much time trying to look for it, but basically the scriptures say there's a war in our inward parts, man. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste too much time, but basically the scripture says there's a war between the flesh and the spirit, man. Okay. And the flesh, you being in the flesh, all right, it always wants to, the flesh can never have enough, okay? It always wants to be in the flesh. The flesh always wants to be in the flesh, you know? But we got to understand that in these times, especially, it's important, especially right now when we at the end, we have to strive to be in the spirit as much as possible and put off those carnal things, man. All right? So let me get this. Let me get this, because like there's an old, I believe it's an old Native American proverb between the two wolves that are within you. Okay, basically the two wolves. One represents the flesh and carnality, when the other one represents positivity and spirituality. Okay, and whichever one that you pretty much are indulging in or like to indulge in or find more important, that's the wolf that you're gonna feed. Okay, so we know that Yahweh Shemiao Shai and pushing this word is more important in these last times, so you're gonna feed that accordingly. You're gonna feed that spirituality and the obtaining of wisdom and knowledge and godliness more than you're going to indulge in the flesh. Okay. And if not that, maintain a perfect balance. Okay. But this is Sirach 37 and 27. It says, "My son, prove thy soul in thy life and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it." All right. So you got to be able to prove your soul and be like, man, if women or video games or your job, if, food, okay, if those things are can be a distraction for you, then you got to be able to not give yourself over to that too much, man. Okay, verse 28, "For all things are not profitable for all men, neither hath every soul pleasure in everything." Okay, because you could be tempted to, just as a quick scenario, you could see a woman every day, right? You working and you see this woman practically every day at the office or whatever, and y'all may shoot the shit a little bit, but in the back of your mind that these women, I can't really spit at this woman, I can't really holler at her like this, because honestly, I got too much more important matters on my hands. I want to get at her, she bad as fuck, whatever, but this woman will serve as nothing but a distraction unto me, and steer me away from what's more important and what I should be more focused on in these times, man. So you got to be able to prove your own soul and see what's profitable for you, okay? And see what's not profitable for yourself, man, okay? So, yeah, we got to continue to do a lot of self-examining in these times, man. And I didn't want to make this video too long. Just wanted to hit those precepts, man. All right. And you know, hopefully this was edifying, and continue to examine yourselves, because you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is Yahushua is on his way back, man. Okay. And if you've been indulging in the flesh, all right, if you weren't watching, all right, on your watch, all right, and you were distracted by this world, you're gonna be taken when this world is taken, man. All right. But if you were in the spirit, you were watching, you were praying, and staying away from things that don't profit you, all right, sacrificing certain things, all right, then when the Lord returns, you're gonna be found in good graces. Okay. And that's what it's about. That's what we, you know, that's the lot we're trying to fall in ultimately. Okay. So hey, hopefully this was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakwadash, Shalom.